Psalm 23. God has set a table for two, one chair for himself, the king, and the second one, believe it or not, is for you. But of course, the enemy wants a seat at the table too. Anxiety wants a seat, envy wants a seat, worry and frustration want a seat. But don't give the enemy a seat at your table. Look up, go up. You're invited up the mountain of God. Move towards infinite power, splendor, love, and beauty, healing and restoration. When we gaze upon the Almighty, we are changed by the captivation. Empowered to take every thought captive in the battle of the mind. Shame is silenced by his glory, and our future redefined. So draw near to Jesus. The shepherd is good. Our God is faithful. Take the place prepared for you. And don't give the enemy a seat at your table.
Aha! So Airpeace has now commenced direct flights to Dakar, Freetown, and Banjul from Lagos. Yeah, so start planning your trip, cause Airpeace got you. Lagos to Dakar, Freetown, and Banjul flights will operate on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with the superb Embraer 195E2 jets. Fly Airpeace from Lagos to Dakar, Freetown, Banjul, and enjoy a world-class travel experience on the brand new E195. For bookings, head to our website flyairpeace.com or download the Airpeace mobile app on Play Store or App Store. Airpeace, your peace, our goal.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Solomon Izang Shams. It's so good to be with you tonight. I don't know what time it is where you are, but so good to be with you. And thank you so much for being here. Some of you guys are here very regularly, and some of you guys are only coming in for the first time or not so consistently. So thank you so much. Whether you are consistent or not consistent, please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. That is Solomon's Temple. Please go to the subscription to the channel and just click subscription. And do not forget to also click on notification, the bell that you see right there, just so anytime I come on live or I post on anything, you will be the first to get a notification. Thank you so much for everyone joining me from around the world. I thank you. Mighty Igbo Felix is saying, greetings, Brother Solomon. Greetings to you also. Boyd is saying, good day, Malume. That is good day, uncle. I'm loving this every step of the way. Whatever is not of God shall not stand. Evelyn from Switzerland, thank you for your consistency. And then we have Mighty Igbo. He says from Turkey. So good to have you here. Rose, she said, good afternoon, Brother Solomon. Rose Nyeshua from Minnesota in the USA, from the country of Ghana, West Africa, Masolo Media. Thank you. Good to have you here. Joseph from Douala, Cameroon, say, keep on, bro, with the good work. Thank you for the encouragement. Peggy is here from Zambia. Back again from London is Ebun. And also we have a voice for the end time. Blessings in abundance to the Ashams from the USA. We have quite a lot of Nicholas from Nelspruit here in South Africa. Sylvie from the Val, from Angola. Justino. Thank you. Gracias, Justino. Rosemary from Durban, from Toronto in Canada. Brenda, Warrior Cell. Yeah, quite a lot of people here. Thank you. Thank you from Rudaport. We got here, and we got my sister here from from Quebec, in that is formerly Port Elizabeth in South Africa. Alex from Uganda. Lolo from Boston, Massachusetts. Edward from Jamaica. Cletus from Lagos, Nigeria. Lorenta all the way from the UK. Lavina also from Jamaica. Luazi from Pulukwani, Washington. Here is Jackie from France. Charis. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you so much for being here. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, that is, and it was a blessed time for you and for so many other people. Well, I received some brief from my contacts, my sources in Nigeria, in Lagos to be precise. And my sources, a lot of my sources that I get the story around TB Joshua, a lot of my sources are people who had been there. They were on staff. They were part of the Synagogue Church of All Nations. They had spent time there. For so many years, they've worked there, right? Now, those are my sources. My sources are not just random sources, but people who have spent a lot of time very close to the activities and also all the shenanigans of TB Joshua. So from a couple of weeks ago, I received some info which was not really confirmed. Sometimes you want to follow through and see if you can get more info. And I then recently I also received some info about just the power tussle, the infighting that is going on right now at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, that is SCOAN, between TB Joshua's wife, Evelyn Joshua, and they call her Mama Sarah. So if you hear me say Mama Sarah, that is TB Joshua's wife, Evelyn, because her first child is Sarah. So, in Nigeria, culturally, I think in a lot of other African countries, the community ends up calling the mother Mama Joshua or Mama Sarah or Mama Brenda, or just call her Mama, and then they add the name of the first child. So that's what they do. So that's what a lot of the people who are there, that's what they call her. They don't call her any other way, but to show respect also, that's how they call her. So I just want to give you basically just some update and information from what has been happening around the Synagogue Church of All Nations. And I think the first question to ask ourselves is, since TB Joshua passed away, if you've noticed, they haven't had any sort of a service. Now, that is an indication that they haven't gotten a plan yet to move on, right? They haven't had any sort of church service or whatever. Some people would say, well, they're still mourning him or whatever. No, it doesn't work that way. It's because of some internal infighting and problems and fights that's been going on for control of the Synagogue Church of All Nations. Who is going to lead? Why should they lead? Who's going to preach? Who's going to be here and who's going to be there? Now, I want to paint a picture for you how things were before TB Joshua passed away when it comes to the hierarchy and also the leadership. Now, TB Joshua is obviously the main dictator of that enterprise called Synagogue Church of All Nations. So he is up there. Fatai is the leader. Fatai is TB Joshua. He's the leader. And around him, his main support structures are the disciples. Now, the disciples play different roles in the life of the ministry. The disciples are the ones that go out with the microphone when he's performing deliverances. They're the ones that are there to speak, to say what's been going on and all that kind of stuff. And they are also the ones behind the scene to monitor these people that come for healing who said they're on wheelchair, to know what's wrong with them, so they can arrange a miracle, so they can figure out how to lie, how to make it look like a miracle at the end of the day. So behind the scene, they're the ones that they are the mastermind in some of his, if not all of his fake miracles that you see, all the miracles that you see. Behind the scenes, they're the one that all the information collected comes to them. They monitor everything. They're the ones that will tell him, no, pray for that person there. they would be the ones to give TB Joshua information about a certain person that's sitting in the crowd, that he would go, you there in yellow, or you in yellow, I know you're from this country, right? And this is your I know this is your problem, right? So they will be, how did he know about that? But the disciples are the bridge. So they were the mastermind. They are the ones that sits down and do behind the scene. They are in touch with the people that come for deliverance and prayer. And then they are the ones that in touch with TB Joshua. They're the ones that feed him. They're the ones that say, look, this is how it is. This is this is the plan, and all that kind of stuff. So because of that, he was extremely close to them. Because remember also, they carry the secret of all his deception. And if you notice also, a lot of the disciples are women, young girls. So they don't just help him to create and fake miracles per se. No. They also satisfy him sexually. So the disciples, they play a different role. Obviously, there is the wise men. And sometimes, he keeps changing them. There was a time he used to call them wise men, and then now he called them junior prophets and all that kind of stuff. But that's just a few of them. But the most powerful group within the synagogue are the disciples, because they are the ones that dictate what goes on TV, what you and I see on TV. They dictate how to deceive people. They collect information and feed TB Joshua information. So he depends on them, and he trusted them a lot. And also, like I said, some of them were satisfying him sexually. So they are the most powerful group. They are maybe a bit over 60 of them in total, from what I heard. And the wise men, which are called junior prophet now, before he passed away, is just a few of them, just a handful of them. So they spend more time with TB Joshua compared to any other set of people. They spend more time with TB Joshua, more time than his wife, Mama Sarah, Evelyn Joshua, spends time with him. Remember, TB Joshua and his wife do not live in the same room. They don't sleep in the same room. He has a room on another floor. She has a place on another floor. And she doesn't have access to his room, like she can just walk in there anytime. No. Exclusive people, mostly the disciples, mostly the girls. That's where so they know him intimately, physically intimately, and they know him also intimately when it comes to deception, when it comes to how to fake the miracles, when it comes to what to do, how to, to change the narrative. They are the brains. And the wife knows that the disciples are very powerful and they are very close to him. Remember, she never really served any role in the church, having a permanent role or whatever. No, once in a while she appears to do this, to preach or to do whatever, and then that's just it. But they are the most powerful people, because they are the ones that help him to be creative in how to deceive people, so the money can still be coming, so the crowd can still be viewing, so people can still be influenced by him, so people can still be coming to the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Lagos. Again, for your information, TB Joshua and his wife, before he passed, they never lived in the same room as husband and wife. No. She had her place and her business. It's more like they had two separate lives. Yes, that's the best description I can give you. They had two separate lives. He has his room where it's like, no, and culturally somehow in Nigeria it works somehow. But for him, obviously, he had his own room and his own privacy where his wife cannot just go to his room. No, she has to be summoned for her to go to the room, believe it or not. But the disciples who he works with daily, that's where they go to. They can go in anytime because they are his runner. They are the ones that help him to create and manufacture all this kind of miracle. No, they're the ones that sit down and help him to lie to people, basically. So now, on the 5th of June, is it? Yeah, 5th of June, TB Joshua passed away. Now what? The most powerful group of people within the Synagogue Church of All Nations, that is the disciples, they want control. But Mama Sarah, Evelyn Joshua, by virtue of being the wife, obviously she would want to have control, and everybody would say you would have to have control. So there have been infighting between the two groups. She has her own supporters. Obviously, a lot of them Nigerians. And remember, the disciples, a lot of them are not even Nigerians. Say, no, you are the rightful heir to the throne created by Fatai. You cannot just let go. But then when it comes to the congregation, the crowd and the international people, they're not familiar with her. She doesn't have a network with the people from overseas and people that they used to see. The disciples are the one that have all the networks. She wasn't there when they were creating all these miracles. Obviously, I do not trust her, and I think she's gonna want to create all these deceptions too. But she doesn't have the mastermind in creating all these deceptions. So that's where the fight is now. From the information and sources I got, they had a tussle around the ownership of Synagogue Church of All Nations, the assets and everything. And they have to get in a lawyer. I came and read something that seems like a will, saying that she is actually the rightful heir. And that actually made the disciples more angry. Because how is she going to now mount the pulpit and start preaching every Sunday and start doing stuff every Sunday? People are not used to her. People are not used to her. She's never been there, basically. You see the problem. And the disciples here are feeling they are being denied the opportunity to take control, the opportunity to lead, in spite of all the investment of their time, of their resources that they put in over the years, supporting TB Joshua and helping the whole thing grow. They're feeling like they're now trying to take it away from them, which is something that they're not used to. So they ganged up. I hear that some of them are beginning to actually look for ways to siphon, to get money from it, to get something and disembark, to get something and leave and go start their own thing. So you're going to see a lot of TB Joshua's disciples all around the world. They're going to show up. Because with the way things are going now, there's no way Mama Sarah, Evelyn Joshua that is, would take over and the group of disciples would continue to be there. Why? Because she knows that they want power. So she's going to be careful. Secondly, she knows that a lot of the girls that are part of the disciples, the young girls, they had had sexual relationship with her husband. She knows that. Actually, some of them look down on her, and she knows that when the husband was, TB Joshua was alive, they looked down on her. They despised her, and she they don't take us serious, obviously, because they're close to the most powerful false prophet in the history of Africa. I was asking somebody the question. I said, TB Joshua had his funeral recently, and there were a lot of photos that was from his history, how he started, his family, his kids growing up and everything. I said, but there's one thing missing that you need to ask yourself why that is missing. And that is the fact that they had never showed you any photo of TB Joshua and his wife getting married. Whether it's white wedding, whether it's traditional wedding, there's no photo of that. Now, if a person passes away that way and you're celebrating his life and his wife and his kids with his 3 daughters are there, there's no way you're going to show photos and miss the photo of him, one of the most important day in their lives, the day they got married. You're going to not feature it because they were actually not really married. Am I shocking you? They didn't really get married. They were just there together, started just having relationship, and she got pregnant and all that kind of stuff. That's why you see he could live his own life. She lives in a different floor and he lives in a different floor. They have 2 separate lives. It was later that they had to go and sign legal stuff to say they are married. But in the beginning, for years, they were not married. There was no marriage. Because, TB Joshua loved videos and photos and all that kind of stuff to promote himself and all that. How did he miss the photo of his wedding day? Either in court, whether it's customary, or in court, or traditionally, or a white wedding. None. We need to read between the lines, guys. We need to read between the lines. But legally, they went and wrote and signed papers. Because obviously now he has 3 kids from her. And they're together. But he's going to do his business, she's going to do his business. But then he has kids and he needs to, if he passes away, he's going to live. I'm going to do very soon. I actually totally forgot. Maybe soon, next week or this week, I'm going to do another broadcast just on how TB Joshua laundered money to some international accounts. If you remember the Panama leaks, he was mentioned, him and his wife. Their name was there. Their details were there. I'm going to show you. He just started having a relationship with her, got pregnant, never really married. And obviously, if you want to run a church, you can't just have kids and then you think everything is just... So he had to make it look like she's his wife. Because people were going to ask questions and people were asking questions. And he knows that the best way to sell yourself as a pastor is be with your wife. That is good branding. Make sure you show your wife. That they will say, wow, he's a man of God. People don't even care if you're cheating on your wife, you're beating your wife, or you're doing whatever. They just say, no, he has a wife, he's a man of God. No, we need to look deeper. And because TB Joshua was a deep deceptor, he got away with all of this. There's a way that he crafted himself around it and got away with all of this. But now he has created and left a dilemma and left a big problem. Who is taking over? Like I said, the disciples, TB Joshua's disciples, they are the most powerful group of people at Synagogue Church of All Nations. International people know it. Local people know it. They're the ones that have access to TB Joshua into his room anytime they want. The girls, they're the ones that he called on anytime he wants to get some sort of sexual gratification. Even his wife, the level at which they were so powerful. So because they used to run the show, so now she has to run the show. How is she going to run the show? Because she was never part of running the show. She was never part of running the business. She was never part of running the whole deception. They were the ones, the brain behind it. The disciples, that is. Is she going to take over? Yes. Legally, she's the one that's going to take over. But watch it. The disciples, I'm not sure they're going to go away quietly, because they also want a piece of the pie. Some of them are beginning to take pieces of the pie already. Some of them are beginning to take money. Some of the money is there, because remember, they used to run this whole thing, so they know how to get to the money, some of the money there. Some of them are beginning to take a whole lot of stuff, TB Joshua's personal stuff, because now they're looking for a way out to go do their own thing. They know their days are numbered. They had wanted to take, they said, no, but this church belongs to all of us. They had to go and get a legal person, TB Joshua's legal person, and say no. But according to his will and what he said, this is what it is. This is how it was registered. And Nigeria is different when it comes to that. A church is almost like a personal business. A church shouldn't be that way. A church belongs to the people, belongs to the community. You can't say this belongs to a certain family, but so technically maybe they even registered Synagogue Church of All Nations also as a business. And they would have that ownership of it. Because Nigeria is a very Nigeria is a very, very what do you call it? You can get away with anything. You can get away with anything. So, because of the evil that they perpetuated there, you would expect, obviously, that they are going to have this kind of problems, because God was never there at all. The devil was there, but God was not. At Synagogue Church of All Nations, I repeat, the devil was there, but God was never there. From the foundation, it was not to glorify the Lord in any way. Never. You see, the problem with Nigerians or Africans is sometimes they look at TB Joshua, they say, but even if he's this person, even if he didn't do the right thing, but he helped people and all that. No, don't give me that. God would not look at, when TB Joshua gets to the gates of heaven, he would not say, TB Joshua, I see you help the widow. I see you help this. No. Did you live a righteous life? Did you pursue holiness? It's the same thing they're talking, especially Nigerians talk. And I'm going to do a broadcast around this maybe the next week, tomorrow or 2 days later from today, about Abba Kari. How Abba Kari, the police officer who was involved with Hush Puppy, how he's just like the church in Nigeria. Some people are saying, well, this guy arrested so many criminals and this and that. But the guy was a crook. TB Joshua helped people, this and that. But he was a charlatan. That's the end of story. He was helping people because he needed to do that to boost his brand, to boost his profile. He's like Pablo Escobar, the biggest drug dealer in the world ever from Colombia. People would kill you if you want to kill him. They loved him. He was the biggest philanthropist in Colombia, but he was a drug dealer. Don't change the story. Don't give me a bad. Whatever he has done, the fact that he never pursued righteousness, TB Joshua, the fact that he was deceiving people and faking miracles, that overrules everything. Even the most evil of men can be good. Giving money to people, helping people, sending them to school, helping the widows. So helping people is not an indication of your relationship with God. Politicians help people because there's something for them to gain. TB Joshua helped people because there was something for him to gain. That's why he put it on TV, Emmanuel TV. He made videos just so you can look at it and think, oh, wow. That's why you can defend him here today. Shockingly, you're defending a big charlatan, Fatai. Fatai was the biggest disgrace of the African continent in the last 100 years. Fatai took Christianity backwards. He shamed the Christian faith. Except you're not a woke Christian, then you wouldn't know. Except you're not a Bible reading Christian, then you wouldn't know. Shame on you if you get to tell me that when he helped people and that. So what? Do you know how many people died because of Fatai? Do you know how many people, how many families were destroyed because of Fatai? Do you know how many children? Do you know how, please, do you know how many young girls he abused that are still struggling? Don't give me that stuff here. Fatai is the most evil of them all. Fatai, the most evil of them all. Maybe because you don't know people that he had destroyed. You don't know families. You don't know individuals. I know. I know. I've met them. They've come to me. Mama Sarah, Fatai's wife, Evelyn Joshua, she was just like any other girls that he was sleeping with around the disciples. She was just like what? Fatai had so many of these girls that he's sleeping with. And you want to tell me he's a man of God? Just because you don't know? I know. Fatai had concubines from day one. Evelyn was a concubine. But because he claimed to be a Christian and a man of God, he had to get one wife that people can identify with. That's the part of the Christian brand, the man of God brand. And he had to do that. You know, I think if you get to really meet the people that TB Joshua had destroyed, maybe you would change your mind. Maybe you've never met one of them that would sit down and tell you, look at you in the eye and say, this is my story. And at the end of the day, you say, this man destroyed you. This man destroyed so many. The girls who were part of his disciples, a lot of them are his concubines. His wife started as his concubine, and he had to make her wife. Again, that's why I'm asking you, have you ever seen any photo of TB Joshua's wedding? Have you ever seen any photo TB Joshua in a suit getting married to his wife, white wedding, or traditional wedding, or in court, customary wedding. Have you ever seen that? Because he didn't want to. He didn't start that way. She was a concubine. He just had to kind of like bring her in because he needs to create an image. That's why they never lived in the same room. They never lived in the same floor. They lived in different places within the synagogue, unlike husbands and wife. I'm ashamed as an African that we produced a man called Abdul Fatai Balogun, TB Joshua, aka TB Joshua. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed as a Christian that we allowed TB Joshua, a charlatan of note, to represent us for so many years, to use him as a benchmark for the church and Christian leaders. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that TB Joshua misrepresented the gospel. I'm ashamed. I'm so ashamed. That charlatan of note has created chaos. A couple of weeks ago, I got a call. Someone got in touch with me, sent me messages, and then I got to speak to him. A young boy. He was born at the Synagogue Church of All Nations. His parents were going there. He ended up serving there, closely serving Fatai. He doesn't want to come out publicly. But the stuff that he told me, he was like, you know, the kind of people that wait on the man of God. He knew Fatai into his room. He was the one that, you know, his food, you organize, his clothes, whatever. Those kind of guys that are always with him to serve him. He got fed up. He had to leave last year, just before TB Joshua passed away. In 2009, when I started investigating TB Joshua, of course I got death threats. And for me, that was the first sign. TB Joshua taking a copy of my magazine in his church and telling people that they shouldn't support this magazine and it's evil. That's what they do. People like Johnson Suleiman, that's what they all do. But you don't know about it. You don't see it. We, the ones that are speaking against this evil, we know because they come after us. They do. Today I was in court because some girl called Sitle Sikire Sibisi, which we did an interview with her, and she spent about 2 years at TB Joshua's place. She took me to court wanting a protection order. That I was giving people her number to threaten her. She took me to court about 2 months ago. I didn't say anything about it. She brought 3 lawyers. I said, no, I'm going to speak for myself. Today, the court dismissed the case. Said, no, you have no case. I cannot give you a protection order. Because everything she said was lie. Lies and lies and lies. You see, the attack that I get is there are certain things that I don't even put it out here. But the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Kotu in Lagos is one of the most evil places. One of the most evil places you can think of. I pray that his wife would wake up and do what is right. And if she wants to do what is right, then she would actually close down Synagogue Church of All Nations. because the foundations were evil. That's what it is. Shut it down. But if she continues as a pastor or as a preacher, trust me, she is part of the whole evil and she has not changed. She's been co-opted into it. And she's just after the money also, in spite of the millions, tens of millions that they have, of dollars that they have. They have it. But that place called Synagogue Church of All Nations is worse than a brothel. Do you hear me? It's worse than a brothel. The evil that had happened there. It was like a slaughter ground, a death trap for so many people dying in there. And they quietly take them and put them in mortuary. They never tell you, they never shows you. And their family quietly look for ways to get them out. They don't talk about that. They all went there for help, seeking for help. If his wife wants to show that she really loves God and she wants to do what is right, shut down Synagogue Church of All Nations. Shut it down. One time. She has enough money to live on for the rest of her life. Even the money, she needs to give a lot of it away because those are evil money, blood money. TB Joshua's money is blood money. But Mama Sarah, as they call her, Evelyn Joshua, obviously from the videos I've watched, she also wants to, it's her time to shine, as they say. But who do you want to shine for? You want to shine for yourself or you want to shine for Jesus? If you want to shine for Jesus, shut down that brothel. Shut down that shrine and begin to seek God. That's what it is. If you don't shut it down, please guys, do not support anything about TB Joshua Synagogue Church of All Nations if they are not ready to shut that place down. Don't even give her some sort of a benefit of a doubt as his wife, saying, well, she's different and all. Shut it down. Shut it down. She has millions in the bank. I'm going to show you how some of the places they laundered their money to. I'm going to show you. I have the evidences based on my research. They were part of the Panama Leaks, where a lot of people, politicians, business people who siphoned their money and laundered money, and they don't want it to be traced. They don't want to pay tax and all that is all there. Their name appeared in there also. So let the infighting within the Synagogue Church of All Nations, SCOAN, continues between the disciples and Mama Sarah, Evelyn Joshua. It's fine. The disciples are going to be displaced, but I hope that some of them will come out and speak, because the most powerful and evil man of them all, Fatai Balogun, is gone. So they can now open their mouth. They're not going to be afraid of anyone. They were just afraid of just one man. One man he was terrorizing everybody. One man, Fatai. He was terrorizing everyone. One man. They were afraid of him all across the four corners of Africa. And one man. Then he died. He's gone. Everybody want to get a piece of the cake now. They're now scrambling for a piece of it. They're not scrambling. For a piece of it. Like I said, maybe tomorrow or next, I'm going to do a broadcast around how Abba Carey, the police officer who was working for Hush Puppy, he was working for Hush Puppy, that's what it is. It represents the typical Nigerian church. I will bring out the similarities between Abba Carey and the Nigerian church. Some people are saying, well, he fought evil and fraudsters and kidnappers and all. So what? And then you allow a hush puppy, a hush and a puppy to dictate to you what to do, to break the law, to arrest somebody and detain them, based on the instructions he gave you. The church in Nigeria is like that. If you look into the church in Nigeria, forget about what you see outside the big edifice and all that. No. If you look, you peep inside. Most of the churches. And Nigerians are so corrupted. We've allowed ourselves to be corrupted, where when we see evil, we can actually defend evil. We don't even know that we're defending evil because we're so used to corruption. We're so used to, you're defending Yahoo boys. You are defending a corrupt police officer. I'm going to do a program actually about Daddy Freeze maybe tomorrow also. Because Daddy Freeze did a broadcast about me 2 days ago. Somebody brought that to my attention. Attacking me. Because I said his relationship with Hush Puppy was unholy. Well, he's trying to defend himself now. Daddy Freeze is a disgrace. Disgrace to journalism. Disgrace to the church. He represents a greedy human being. Daddy Freeze is not even a journalist. He was trying to say, he's a journalist. He wants to be the best journalist. How can you be the best journalist when you sit down with Hush Puppy and then you were just basically, talking and agreeing with him? And you said you were conducting an interview. What is that? That's entertainment news. That's not journalism. And you claim to represent and be a voice. We need to clean up our house. I need to keep cleaning up my house. You need to keep cleaning up your house. You need to keep demanding that our churches clean up their house. That's how we can make improvement and draw closer to God. We do it. I need to do it. You need to do it. I need to provoke you on this platform to do it. You don't have to agree with me, and I don't have to agree with you, but let's agree with God. That's what it is. Finally, let me just go through this. Somebody said, what is it? He said, Uchenna is saying Daddy Freeze is a journalist, but he's not a born again. Daddy Freeze is not a journalist. Like, he was claiming that he was an interview as a journalist that he did with Hush Puppy. That was not an interview. That was a promotion. He did a PR job, and you get paid to do a PR job. When you deal with people like Hush Puppy, you do a thorough research before you even meet them. From his line of questioning, it is clear that that was not an interview. That was just an entertainment news stuff for his fans or whatever on YouTube. See, Daddy Freeze is hungry. There's quite a lot of comments here that I couldn't actually go through, but Keba is saying, I'm fearing for your life. Uncle, Nigerian pastors are going to beat you because you're always on them. I'm Nigerian, and I understand them really well. I grew up in Nigeria. I'm a journalist. I follow these things, so I have a good idea. I've been in South Africa for a long time, so I have a good idea what's going on. I follow every sort of news. Wait until we kickstart the website. We're starting a website, unclesolomon.com, where there's going to be news around Christian issues like this. Where certain things that I cannot say or do here, at least I can put them there. Edwin said, Daddy Freeze is just looking for where to make. He's a businessman of note. So he shouldn't tell me that he's a journalist. You can't be a journalist and using your journalistic abilities and telling me that you're making, you're doing using it as a business, but you're being paid by the radio station that you worked with. He's a shame. It's a shame. I'm not even going to. He attacked me. He attacked me. American Eagle say Daddy Free just interviewed Hush Puppy's best friend, and that was arrested by. I saw that interview, and that was a joke. That was not an interview. You're allowing somebody to tell you that Hush Puppy got into trouble because Hush Puppy was stubborn. Did you probe the guy? What do you mean he was stubborn? What did you and Hush Puppy know? What did you guys do wrong? But he just allows them to keep talking, and he doesn't ask any probing questions. You probe people. These are guys that you know that they have a history, that something about them is not. You probe them. If I sit down with a pastor here, I'm not just going to feel good because you have money or because you are powerful and then we just talk. No. I want to probe you because the people watching have questions that I have a responsibility now to ask you. So the information that you bring would help the people decide if you are legit or not legit, if you are of God or not of God, if you are a Yahoo boy or not a Yahoo boy. Simple. That's my role as a journalist. Not to make you feel good, not to promote you. I'm not a promoter. I'm not a PR company. I'm not a PR person. I'm a journalist. Aladi saying, please like the video, please, people. Yeah, please, people, like the video. Elizabeth is saying, thank God for you, Uncle. I just started following you a few days ago and I stumbled upon your channel. You are blessed. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, guys. There's quite a lot of comments here, and I'm not going to be able to take them. Yeah, but and you see, sometimes when I talk, I'm passionate about it. It's because I've seen people being destroyed. When I talk about it, actually, I get angry. Not angry with the person, but angry because of what had happened in the name of the gospel, in the name of the church. Are we going to be all be quiet and not talk against this evil? Some of you have left churches. Now you can look back and say, no, that wasn't right. I wasn't even supposed to live there. I wasn't even supposed to be part of that. That's good. But let's join forces. Solomon is not on a one-man crusade to get fame. Far from it. Far from it. I'm not in this to make money. Far from it, to be honest with you. If I wanted to make money, I would have made a lot of money from people like Bushiri. Trust me. Because I had so much stuff from people like Bushiri, and I could go and say, look, hey, Bushiri, I got this story. Give me $1 million and I'll make the story go away. Bushiri pays for all these false prophets. They pay for those kind of things. But what shall it profit me when I see people in pain being lied to? They keep giving their monies. They keep dedicating their life to serve and serve and serve this church and serve this ministry, thinking they're serving God, but they're just serving the empire of a man. And they keep deceiving us. Enough is enough. Our eyes are open. The eyes of the people are open. Enough is enough. It's enough is enough. We would fight. If you don't stop, we would fight. who would speak. Even if it's just going to be one or two people that get to see the light, praise God. It is fine. Siyabonga in Zulu. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Let's keep supporting each other. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do so right now. Solomon's Temple. Please subscribe. And yeah, let's keep talking to each other. Let's keep spreading this word. Share this video. Talk to people about it. And any way you can support the work that we are doing, please. You can support the work we're doing in any way, through prayer, through giving your talent one way or the other, financially. Please. You don't want to know how many court cases that I'm dealing with right now behind the scene. And that requires money. Because I need to get attorney, advocates. I'm not on a crusade to destroy anybody. No. I've been doing this for over 10 years. And it's not about hate of a person. You don't hate the person. You hate the evil that the person is doing. Thank you guys for your time. And yeah, there's so many comments here that I can actually not go through it. All right, guys. Thank you. God bless you. Let's keep the truth before us. If you take the truth away from your focus, away from your eye, you're going to go into evil. That's why day by day, through prayer, through the studying of God's word, that's the only way. If you don't study the word of God, and if you don't pray consistently, you're going to find yourself in evil. You're going to go to some of these evil prophets and charlatans. That's just the way that it is. But God will protect you. Because you love the truth and you chose to follow the truth, God will lift you up. God will raise you as a voice wherever you are. God bless you and have a good night.
Psalm 23. God has set a table for two. One chair for himself, the king, and the second one, believe it or not, is for you. But of course, the enemy wants a seat at the table too. Anxiety wants a seat, envy wants a seat, worry and frustration want a seat. But don't give the enemy a seat at your table. Look up, go up. You're invited up the mountain of God. Move towards infinite power, splendor, love, and beauty, healing and restoration. When we gaze upon the Almighty, we are changed by the captivation. Empowered to take every thought captive in the battle of the mind. Shame is silenced by his glory, and our future redefined. So draw near to Jesus. The shepherd is good. Our God is faithful. Take the place prepared for you, and don't give the enemy a seat at your table.
Aha! So Airpeace has now commenced direct flights to Dakar, Freetown, and Banjul from Lagos. Yeah, so start planning your trip, cause Airpeace got you. Lagos to Dakar, Freetown, and Banjul flights will operate on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with the superb Embraer 195E2 jets. Fly Airpeace from Lagos to Dakar, Freetown, Banjul, and enjoy a world-class travel experience on the brand new E195. For bookings, head to our website flyairpeace.com or download the Airpeace mobile app on Play Store or App Store. Airpeace, your peace, our goal.
Marriage. Of course, marriage is not your normal bump and face kind of relationship. It brings both excitement and disappointments. If you find yourself married in community of property and often delayed in your business transactions and dealings, worry no more. Because Masinya Attorneys uses the law to help you change from in community of property to out of community of property and vice versa. Call Masinya Attorneys today on 084 383 7747 We will sort you out with a high court application, and of course, you get to keep your spouse. That's my senior attorneys on 084 383 7747.